When is the best time to go to Disney World? Did you know that that was the most asked question on the internet? And I'm here to tell you, you are asking the wrong question. Let's break this down and find out the best time for your family to go to Disney. Hi friends, Laura Krumsack here with the Disney Slowdown. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you will find all the tips and tricks that you need to help plan your best family vacation. If you are a returning fan, I hope you're subscribed and welcome back. I'm really glad you're joining me today. I've taken a few weeks off, end of the summer, but we are back in the saddle and we are answering the most asked question on the internet. So let's get started. The problem that I have with this question is it's multifaceted. The real question is not what's going on at Disney World, because there's always something going on at Disney World. The real question is, when are you available to actually take a Disney vacation? Disney World's open 365 days a year. So in order to start planning your family's Disney vacation, what you need to do is pull out a 12-month calendar, fill in the things that are just non-negotiable for your family. Camps and activities and events, maybe entire sports seasons or competition seasons of some kind. Then you have work schedules. Maybe there are certain times in your work where you're not allowed to be gone. I had one of those jobs. My husband's job, the leave calendar is passed around based on seniority, and there are certain people that are able to put in their leave before his. They always take the same weeks. When he gets his calendar request, he always takes the same weeks. We have a couple of events that are our family priorities. So that's where I would start with your Disney planning and really think this through. Because even if you're the type of person that you're like, I don't care if we pull the kids out of school for a few days, probably are still some weeks during the school year when you really don't want them to miss or they don't want to miss. Liberally mark through all the calendar, because that's going to be your best place to start. The second part of that question is what's happening at Disney. Disney's looking at these numbers too, and they don't like low census. They don't care if you have 3 or 4 hour wait times. They want people in the parks. They want people on property spending money. They are open 365 days a year. They are paying people 365 days a year to serve as guests. They need guests there on property, in the resorts, at the parks. And they've done a really good job of filling those parks up for the majority of the year. Whether Disney has brought their own personal events to the parks or they have invited guests or hosted events, they are full. Mickey and Minnie's Not So Scary Halloween Party, but that actually starts back in August. Yes, the first date this year is August 15th. Last year, the first date was August 9th. And then they turn around and jump right into Mickey and Minnie's Very Merry Christmas Party. They've also added Jollywood Nights to the mix, so now you have special ticketed events, holiday themed, at Hollywood Studios. Plus, they've added the specially ticketed event evening hours at Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Epcot throughout the year to bring people in for late night events. And then on top of that, you have the deluxe resort extra evening hours. The other events that Disney brings in are not necessarily advertised. You may not even know about them. I only know because I have some people on my social media that have kids that are involved in the cheer and the dance and the baseball teams. All of that chaos happens in February. So where before, 10 or 15 years ago, February was a really good time to go to the parks, there wasn't a whole lot going on. Now we've filled it with high schoolers, and that's not my favorite time. I've got a website that I refer to for the crowd calendar. It's Undercover Tourist. They're a really reliable website. If you Google crowd calendars for Disney, you're going to get a whole bunch of them because there's a lot of people out there with websites who are trying to get their name out there and make money off of Disney. Undercover Tourist is one that I trust. I know a lot of bigger name vloggers that use Undercover Tourist. And I like that their crowd calendar is kind of all inclusive. And you can also see Universal and SeaWorld if you're interested in those, or you can filter those out. But when you click on the day for the info, you can see whatever attractions are going to be closed for that day, the hours for the parks. And then they will also have individual, like maybe the crowd calendar is an 8, but some of the parks are going to be less crowded or expected to be less crowded.
The next question to ask yourself is, what are you willing to tolerate? As we scroll through the crowd calendar, you can see there are some pretty decent weeks here. However, if you're coming to Florida to swim in the pools, it's going to be a little cold. March and April, you're starting to get into some better weather, but as you can see, this is the spring break time and it will go clear to the end of April because a lot of people have spring break during the Easter season. As the year moves forward and it gets warmer and warmer, school is wrapping up. You can see a little bit lower crowds, and then it picks back up just in time for summer, which Florida summer also brings a lot of heat, a lot of humidity, and afternoon showers. That's right. Every afternoon, right around 3 o'clock, you are going to get stormed on. I did a video about essentials for your backpack. I'm going to link that right here for you. Definitely go watch it, especially if you are coming in the summertime. I'm going to pull up Disney's website since we're getting into August where we are right now, and we can see the prices for the tickets, and they kind of correlate with the crowd calendar. August and September are going to start that not so scary Halloween party. Yes, they do start in August. September is lower crowds. It's still hotter than blazes and it's hurricane season. Yeah, so that's another consideration for taking a trip to Florida. As we venture into October, we are wrapping up the Halloween season and we will turn over to the Very Merry Christmas party as soon as Halloween is over. You're going to have high crowds. You've got holiday traffic. This is where your lines and those crowd 10 days, you're going to have 3 and 4 hour waits in the standby queue. The weather's pretty pleasant, even in October, November, and December, although October is still hurricane season. Does this make you sad? I'm so sorry. I really didn't want to give you bad news, but I'd rather you know and be prepared for it than to be surprised. Really quick, let's thumb through the prices for 2026. I'm really glad that they do have prices all the way out, I think through October. Rumor has it that Disney is playing around with real time surge pricing, which means that they could adjust the ticket prices on the hour if they chose to. They were playing around with it for Disneyland Paris, I think earlier this year. I really hope they don't bring that to the United States anytime soon. That would make planning a Disney World vacation very challenging.
Is this something that you needed to know to help you better plan your own Disney vacation? I would really love to know. If you would please leave me a comment, even a heart or some kind of an emoji. I would really appreciate it. The feedback helps me. It also helps YouTube to know that my videos are valuable and they will start pushing them out to more people. Speaking of which, YouTube is telling me that like 94% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribers. And I understand you don't want to commit and subscribe. But if you have watched 3 or 4 of my videos and you do find them helpful and enjoyable, would you please subscribe? Because that tells YouTube that my content is valuable and needed out there. I would greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already grabbed my Google Spreadsheet to help you plan your Disney vacation, I start with a bunch of questions for you to ask yourself. And if you've already grabbed this Google Spreadsheet and you have the link, you might want to refresh that link. I've added a few more questions, like specifically, when are we available to go and what are we willing to tolerate? I hope this video was helpful. And if you have any questions or maybe you have something that you want covered for your next Disney planning session, then just drop it in the comments below. I'm here to help you and I love the feedback. So thanks for joining me and I'll see you on my next video.